Hey there, I'm with Breanna from Igniting Transformations, and thank you, Breanna, for being on here. I appreciate it. This is actually round 2, guys. We had some tech issues before, so I really appreciate that you're joining me again.
I'm excited. I'm really excited. Last time it went really well, so hopefully round 2 will be even better.
Yes. Okay, so Breanna is, I'm going to read this from her Instagram because it's a lot of words. So I want you to know how awesome she is. So she's a national board certified health and wellness coach, specializing in autoimmune disease and gut health. She is a certified transformational nutritional coach. She's certified in autoimmune disease specialist and restorative wellness practitioner. So that's a lot, Breanna. That's a lot.
Lots of letters behind my name.
Yes, I think that's awesome. How long did it take you to, is that a college degree? Like all of those certifications, how do you?
So they're all certifications. And what I originally did was I went for my certified transformational nutrition coaching certification. And that is typically a 14-month ordeal, but I did it in 3 months.
Oh, wow.
I have a nutrition background. I have a medical background. And so it was a lot of review and then learning how to coach. And then after that, I did my specialty, which was in autoimmune disease. Mm-hmm. And then after that, I did the restorative wellness practitioner, which was in mastering the art of gut health. So that's where my gut health specialty comes from. And then after that, I was studying in the meantime for my national board certification. And I took that in February of last year and found out a few months later that I had passed. So
awesome. Well, so you are really an expert in this. I feel like you have done all the things that you can really help people. So tell me why, how would I know if I needed your help? What do you do for people as a health coach? And then how do I know if I need your help?
Those are both really great questions. So essentially, if you have autoimmune disease, then you probably have gut issues. If you have any symptoms of gut health dysfunction, like acid reflux, bloating, gas, diarrhea, nausea after eating is really common of having some gut dysfunction going on. Migraines are a sign of gut dysfunction, as well as acne. Any skin related issue, like getting unexplained rashes, acne is definitely tied to gut health issues.
Like adult acne or even like teenagers?
Teenage acne too, for sure. Yeah, a lot of the time they think, oh, it's just hormonal. Well, your hormones are tied to your gut health, and eating a really poor diet contributes to acne.
Like Taco Bell, I should say that. Yes. Or like Taco Bell to like a teenager.
Yeah, fast food is definitely a contributor to gut dysfunction and acne. So not knocking on it. Sometimes I eat fast food. I'm very well rounded, but
I'm just teasing my teenage daughter.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so what can you do as a coach? How can you help somebody that would need your help?
That's also a really great question. So I don't use a cookie cutter approach. It's very one-on-one to the unique needs of the individual. I've worked with clients who just come to me with gut issues. I also have a new client coming on board who is having mood disorders. And she's like, I don't know why I'm having such bad mood swings. And that actually can be related to gut health, which is really fascinating because you have the gut-brain axes. And so it's really funny because people are always like, oh, you are what you eat. Well, you are what you eat. Your brain is totally affected by that. Interestingly enough, when I eat like super duper high quality maple syrup, that's just maple syrup, I get major mood swings. So that's a fun one.
Yeah, shoot.
But basically what happens when somebody comes to me is they can schedule a 15-minute call and we talk and figure out if we would be a good fit and if coaching is something that they're interested in. And then they would fill out my handy dandy 15-page health assessment, which gives me a lot of really amazing insight into all of the things, because your health isn't just, now, it's the last 6 months, it's the last year, it's from when you were born. Your microbiome actually starts at, before you're even born. And so if your mom had like really bad gut dysfunction, chances are you're going to be born with that. And most people don't realize that.
Yeah.
And so that covers.
Can you change that though, right? Like,
yeah, for sure.
That with your diet, you're not like doomed to.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you're not. I always say that your status quo is not your future. You're not stuck with the way that your health is. Obviously, there are certain things that, like type 1 diabetes, I have that. I probably will never not have type 1 diabetes, but I can manage it and take really good care of it so that my body functions at a very high level, my optimal health, as I like to call it.
Yeah. Okay.
What I want everybody to have. Right. So after that, it would be the first session. We'd go over all of the information that was filled out on the health assessment, and then obviously any questions that they have, any questions I have for them. And then we go from there. We have a session typically every week to help stay on top of the goals that have been set. And we really work together as a team. It's not me telling somebody what to do. It's us coming up with ideas together and really working together. So for example, if you and I work together, we would meet together, we'd come up with a game plan, have an overall goal, and then have little goals that, were weekly or bi-weekly and always checking in. But you're the expert on you know what's worked in the past, you know what hasn't. And so it's really me being there to educate, accountability, cheer you on, have that space for you to come and really be heard and feel seen and know that you matter. Because oftentimes, if you go to the doctor, you have like maybe a 15-20 minute appointment with them, and it's this quick, hey, what's going on? Here's my symptoms. Okay, here's a medication, or here's this, like, adios. And then
there's not a lot of follow-up.
Not a lot of follow-up. And then for me, I don't feel like, I've been heard. It's a very cookie cutter approach, and we are not cookies. If we were, we'd be delicious, but this is not the approach that I like to use, just because everybody is so different. Even if I had 2 people coming to me, both with the exact same symptoms, their root cause is not going to be the same. And so that's really what we dive in, is to find the root cause or probable root causes.
So is part of what you're helping with, do you create like a meal plan, or?
I can. Not everybody wants that.
You'll eat these things kind of thing.
Yeah, so we'll definitely look at food triggers. I really love using a food journal. I created a food journal that I absolutely love, and I share it with my clients when they come on. And typically I've had really great success with that. A lot of my clients who absolutely hate food journaling, they will food journal for much longer than even I ask them to, just because it's fun.
Yeah. Is it available on I was looking at your link tree on your Instagram. Is that on there, or maybe it's
I don't have
a weekly menu.
Oh, that's just like a little template somebody can fill out, and use. It kind of just takes the overwhelm out. Right. But no, my food journal is not available just yet. I haven't put it out. I've only given it to clients and kind of have them test it and see how they like it. And I've gotten really amazing feedback from it. Yeah, so I probably will be putting that out there soon. I haven't. It's a lot of work to create like a landing page and have people be able to download it and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, definitely.
I'm learning how to do that. So that's one of the things that is coming that I'm really excited about. I've been using it for since my business started a little over a year ago. And so fun. I like it.
Do you have like what's your like first tip for somebody that's just like, I don't know, I guess because everybody's not a cookie cutter, but is there just like, if we just all drank more water, would that help? Like,
My
do you have
very
like something like
thing, honestly, and I know that this is like so cliche and probably everyone expects me to say this, but it's to cut gluten.
Oh, okay.
Because
Why?
because gluten is one of the most like genetically modified things that's out there, as well as our soil has been so depleted of nutrients. But then there's also the glyphosate that's been sprayed in Roundup or in other pesticides to help keep the crop, from getting eaten by bugs. And so what happens, and I know that we've talked about this before and you've probably seen it on my Instagram, but gluten has, it's a fun little shape, and it has a little keyhole that the enzymes can go in, and it can hook to it and it can break it down. I kind of think of, if anyone's seen the Jetsons, when they fly into their little space, they each have their own little parking space. It's kind of like that. So you've got that enzyme, it flies into its little parking space, and then it goes and it's able to break it down. Well, what glyphosate does is it blocks that space. Mm-hmm. So if you go to get your car one day and it's got one of those nice yellow tire traps on it.
Right, yeah, a boot or
you
something.
Can't drive your car away, right?
Right.
And so it's the same thing. Your enzyme goes in to break down that gluten, but it can't because the glyphosate's there blocking it. Or it's like if you go to put your key in your ignition, but your ignition has been blocked for whatever reason. It's got, like a little piece of metal over it. So you can't put your key in the keyhole. You can't start your car, you can't go anywhere. And it's the same thing with gluten. It's just really bad. Not even just for people who have celiac disease, but for everybody.
Yeah, that's so interesting. Yeah, because I think of people with celiac disease, like that's who that, like, okay, you can't have gluten, but yeah, it sounds like it. Is it like every kind of gluten is bad? Or, is that like a really broad thing with gluten? Or is there like a way to get, like, I grew my own wheat and I ground it and made bread? Like, is that bad? Maybe that's a silly question.
People with celiac disease, yes. People with celiac disease, it's an autoimmune response.
Okay.
For other people who maybe, want to grow their own grains. And so here's the funny thing. So people with celiac disease will be cross-reactive. And so there's what's called molecular mimicry. And that's going to be like gluten. So if you have celiac disease, obviously it's going to be gluten, but anything that's cross-reactive with gluten. So casein, which is a milk protein. Most people who have celiac disease, they've also been told, oh, well, you have, a lactose intolerance or whatnot, but it's not actually lactose. It's actually casein, because it's so close in like genetic makeup that your body then mounts a response to that. And other grains. So rice, corn is like a huge offender for people who have celiac disease.
And that's the one you think is safe because it's not wheat, but it's
right.
Yeah.
And then even oats, if oats can be cross-reactive. So it's just really interesting because basically with molecular mimicry, it's anything that's molecularly close to that your body's going to mount a response to. Now, people who have like non-celiac gluten sensitivity, maybe they could get away with eating, grains that they grew themselves. If they have really rich, nutrient-dense soil that's not sprayed with pesticides, totally something that they could try. I'm always open to different things. And that's a matter of healing your gut too. So for me, for example, I have celiac disease. And I wasn't able to eat any grains. About a year ago, I got really sick, and actually almost 2 years ago. That's crazy. Yep. We're actually coming up on almost 2 years now. I couldn't eat any grains, no dairy, no anything. And I was like,
what did you eat? What did you eat?
I ate lots of fresh fruits and veggies, and, like chicken, fish, turkey, meat. I eat grass-fed, so that it's not grains.
Right, because the grain from the animal eating that get into theirs.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so stressful.
So interesting. It's so crazy how our bodies work. They're so amazing though. So basically I was like my own test dummy, and I took a bunch of different testing. So I used bioenergetic testing along with like a GI map, which is a stool test, which most people don't like because nobody likes poop, right? And then an MRT 170, which is a blood test. And so I actually took the MRT 170 and the GI map. And then I took this bioenergetic testing, which is hair and saliva. And I got my results from the blood test and the stool test and compared them to the hair and saliva test. And the hair and saliva test came back with the exact same results, more results though, because they were able to test for more things. And so I only use this bioenergetic testing for my clients now because it's non-invasive and non-poopy. Nobody wants to scoop poop into a little vial. But I was able to figure out what my root causes were. And I had like parasites and pathogens and mold that I'd been exposed to. And I did these different remedies to help get it, rebalance my body. And I've been able to eat so many more foods. And I just recently retested, and I only have like 5 grains that I can't eat now. And I've slowly been reintroducing things, and it's been amazing.
Yeah, that's so fun. I love that. Okay, so if people want to get a hold of you, what's that process like for you? You talked about your 15-minute thing, and that's free, right? Like your first consult.
Yeah, so people can reach out to me on Instagram. Super easy. You send me a DM and we can get a little conversation started. I don't charge anybody for that. I like to just start a conversation and see where people are at, because oftentimes, sometimes people just really, they want to change, but they're just not ready yet. And so I can give like quick little tips, and I give a lot of information on my Instagram. And so I feel like Instagram is a really great place to start if you're interested in living healthier or addressing, root causes or celiac disease, non-celiac, gluten sensitivity, anything like that. Instagram is definitely the way. And then you can definitely schedule a free consult with me. Those are fun because then we get to know each other, and I really enjoy those. And if I'm not a good fit for somebody, or I feel like I can't help them, then I have lots of other friends that I match people up with as well. Because, sometimes personality may not fit, or I maybe just don't know exactly how to help them, and somebody might be a better fit for them. So I make sure I have like a really good pool of people to outsource to, so nobody's ever left out and feeling like, oh, well, thanks for nothing, because
like nobody can help me.
Right. You want to be helped. You don't want to feel like crap.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's a commitment, I think. I remember when I have MS, and when I first got diagnosed with MS, I did a very low saturated fat diet, and it was like I felt like something had died. Like I really had to think of it as just something had died, and I had to you mourn it a little bit. So it is, it's a sacrifice, but I think it's worth doing. And you feel like you've discovered all of these things that you can eat because you figured out how to reintroduce it and what's possible. So I just think that's great, and I think it can change people's lives. So I love what you're doing. So
thank you. I think too that a lot of people think that it's, I have to remove this. Well, you don't have to remove it, just replace it with something better,
Right.
Or if you feel like crap and you take it out for just a small period of time, but then you replace it with something different, or even replacing it with a mind shift change, it just makes such a difference. And that's another thing that I think is really important, is that it's not just about what you're eating and putting in your body, but it's also about what you're putting on your body, as far as like hair and body care go, the soaps that you use, toothpaste, even deodorant, especially. And then it's also that like spiritual. It's gonna be your relationship with yourself and your relationship with others and God and nature. And then it's gonna be your mental health and how you are able to manage stress and de-stress and move your body and different things. So it's not just that physical nutrition that I feel like everyone really focuses on. It's a major holistic approach. And that's what I love about what I do, is that it's not just like, hey, here's a meal plan, here you go, but it's a whole, just a wellness approach, just you being well. So
yeah, I love it. Okay, well, I think everybody should connect with you. So,
oh, thanks.
yeah, we'll tag you in the Instagram, and thanks so much for being on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me. This has been fun. Also, I really like your dog.
Oh my gosh. She does not need me all day long until right now, but
she wants to be Instagram famous.
Yeah. Oh, brother. Well, at least I didn't have an 11-year-old come in shouting and screaming, right?
Yeah, and I didn't get knocked off mine or have my phone ring or anything like that happen. So
yeah, no, that was good.